Hi everyone, and welcome to the 24th edition of Venu's Weekly Cricket Catch Up. I've got Fizan with me as always. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. Obviously, not a huge amount of cricket being played apart from domestic stuff, but there's a couple of interesting talking points coming out, as people can see from the banner below, and some controversial stuff. So, and some squads being announced, etc. So, looking forward to it.
Yeah, likewise. So, I think in terms of the cricket, there hasn't been much international cricket. I think the English international season's about to start in a few weeks, and the World Test Championship match will be also next month. The Pakistan-Zimbabwe Test match came to conclusion. Pakistan won that quite convincingly. Pakistan did really well that series, wouldn't you agree, Fazan?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Zimbabwe are not a top team, but what I would say is that on the whole, Pakistan were professional in their approach, and obviously got the job done. To win both Test matches by innings in a bit was fantastic, and some good knocks by obviously Abd Ali, Azhar Ali, Fawad Alam, and then obviously Hassan Ali was a standout bowler, got 14 wickets in the series, and it was really good. So, I mean, I don't want to touch upon it too much because I'm sure people already know, but it was good. It was a good performance. Obviously, I think we need to now carry that form through. I think we kind of know probably 9 out of our 11 Test players, so that's good. And then going forward, it's just how do we formulate that, and how can we do against the so-called big boys going forward? So let's see. But it's a T20 World Cup year, so I guess more of the emphasis is on T20 cricket. Leading up to that anyway. So I guess that's what maybe Pakistan are more concentrated on. But in terms of the Test arena, we look in a decent position. I think the only issue is Babar Azam's lack of runs in that series, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm sure he'll come back into form, so not a huge thing for me.
Yeah, it was quite impressive as a neutral. I think you used the correct word there, Fizan. Very professional from Pakistan there. Let's move on to the county championship. Let's talk about a few stand-up performances. So Dan Lawrence hit an incredible 150 for Essex. That was a very impressive knock, and he's making a claim for himself to be what's it called in England? England setup. And one breaking news for today, just now. Jofra Archer ruled out the New Zealand Test due to elbow concerns.
Oh, really? He was bowling wheels. County Championship. I was still seeing on the videos. It's surprising.
He may face surgery as ECB plan next steps of recovery, but I think he was playing for Sussex, and as a result, he needs to be managed really. He needs to be managed really well, because England are all looking at their biggest series, Australia away, later on this year, and if Archer's not on the plane to Australia, I think that's a big factor, huge factor.
Agreed. 100%. That's a big miss. Before we elaborate on that more, I actually have a clip of Dan Lawrence batting, which I can probably share my screen so people can have a look. And I don't know whether you want to do that, but I can quickly do it if you would.
Do you want to talk about it after we talk about Jofra Archer, or now?
Yeah, up to you.
We'll come back to the county, but we'll come back to Jofra Archer. But it'll be a big loss for England if he 100%. Does miss it, and I think he has been managed really, really well. So we'll see.
It's interesting though, because for Sussex, I guess I guess he would have said to them, like, this is how many overs I'm able to bowl and not able to bowl. So I guess maybe he's not managing himself properly as well, potentially.
That is true, yes. So we'll see. And in terms of the country championship, so we talked about Dan Lawrence's innings. Essex said the vital innings victory as Derbyshire's resistance ends. And this is after the current champions. This is after the Thursday washout. So the rain hasn't been great here. So fair play, Dan Lawrence. And feel free to show that clip, Fazan. There's one really interesting shot he plays at the end.
Yeah, which is very interesting to say the least. There we go. This is Dan Lawrence just spanking sixes and fours everywhere. But I think the first three are sixes, so off the back foot, off a leggy. He's come down the ground. That's the quality shot. Like, well, yeah, excuse the pun, but yeah, quality shot. And you can see here off the back foot again. So those you're like, okay, you know what? Those are really good shots. Put them away, 3 sixes in a row. And you're thinking, oh, something the same, right? And he just goes on his knees, whips it kind of down the ground off outside of stump, which is just crazy. So
What did that go for, Fazan?
I went for 4.
Well, not the most elegant of shots, but you know,
well,
you did well there.
it's innovative, isn't it? I think is probably the word for it. Not everyone's cup of tea, but it's effective, and he's that type of slightly more unorthodox player, but he's definitely a very talented. I think that shot and that kind of little quick reel that we went through shows that he's a very talented player, isn't he?
Yeah, give it a few years, I reckon he'll be. He's on the outskirts of England, that England first team. If any of the middle order or the opening batsmen have don't perform well, and he's definitely in there. But yeah, definitely a promising prospect for England. Another piece of county news. So let's have a look. So Rushworth breaks the record for Durham as they beat Worcestershire by 258 runs. So Chris Rushworth, I believe, took how many wickets? His 528 first class wicket for the club.
Yeah,
and breaking his tie Graham Onions that he matched in the first innings. So I think they're going toe to toe at the moment.
Yeah, well, Graham Onions, I think is he still playing for Durham?
Let me check.
But yeah, but Chris Rushworth I've had on the channel, so I've had him.
Have you?
Yes, yeah, I have.
Nice.
Yeah, so I had him on the channel, and
yeah,
I'll send Venu the video, see the interviews, you can have a look. But yeah, he's a really nice guy. So I had him on the channel and talked about his career so far. So yeah, really nice guy, and yeah, like I was really happy for him because he's been doing like bits for Durham for years and years and years. Like he is one of their best bowlers ever. So and he's very, very skilled.
I wonder if he ever had an England.
No, he's never played for England.
Never played for England.
He bowls like mid-70s, maybe early 80s max, and he gets the ball to kind of swing in and out. But he's not like archetypal big, gets a lot of bounce. He's also not quick, so I think he just doesn't fit the profile for someone who they kind of think, oh, you can play for England. I think he unfortunately doesn't fit that profile.
And it's interesting that they've got Scott Borthwick, who's the captain for Durham, and he had his his famous cap for England as a leg spinner. And he's now the number 3. And I'm thinking, what's going on there? Get him in England set up. Surely he can bat in the middle order and
Scott Borthwick.
Bowl some really handy legs.
He's not being fantastic though with the bat. I mean, he was at Surrey last year, and
well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, he wasn't like he's not very prolific. That's the issue. So he's a talented player, but he hasn't got the stats to back it up yet. He could do. But he's kind of coming into the prime of his career, so I think he needs, like on paper, it looks fantastic. Like, oh yeah, he's middle order, and also you can bowl some leggies. But he's just, unfortunately, he's just not quite good enough to. I personally think, and we'll see in time. Who knows? He could, but yeah, I think, yeah. So Graham Onions is at Lancashire, I think, isn't he? So he won't be coming back to Durham. So that record is just Rushworth trying to get more and more wickets now for Durham, I think, going forward.
Correct. Yes. That is impressive performance there. Not so impressive performances so far this year. We're going to talk about Marnus Labuschagne. He's having a bit of a mare, isn't he, Fazan? For Derbyshire. Is that right?
For Glamorgan, I think.
Yeah, Glamorgan, sorry, yeah.
Darren Stevens, who Matt, obviously, our mate, loves, because he plays for Kent, got him WW, and James Anderson got him nicked behind as well, and said, I think he made the comparison. He said it's like seeing a girl you like on the dance floor and trying to impress her. And obviously, he was really trying his best to get Marnus Labuschagne out so that it was like a mental victory. Like, oh, I just got you out there, and you know what, we're going to be playing you in a couple of months. But look, it's an interesting one. It's only been 2 matches he's played. I think he's got like double digits in each innings, but only like 11. And basically, he's got less than, I think, 15 in each innings. So he is struggling big time with the moving ball, and the conditions are difficult. Like, it's not easy in England. So yeah, that's really difficult for him. But what I would also say is that they're going to be playing the Ashes in Australia. So Anderson can say that, but when, as Tim Payne would say, when they get to the Gabba, then it might be very different. But he did say that to India and they lost. So let's see. I think we've got a couple of comments as well.
Oh, yes. Let's have a look. 1 second. So, Ashdad. So, hey guys, heard about Archer? Yes, we just covered that just now, Ashdad. And yeah, big news. And for the neutral, I want him to be back to full fitness, and I want him. It'd be sad if he misses out the English summer, but if he misses out the English summer to make sure he plays in Australia, I don't know. Is that worth it? I'm not sure. What do you think, Fizan?
I mean, this is where I think maybe I differ with some people, but I understand the historic kind of value of the Ashes, but New Zealand are the top. Like, for example, if they beat India in the World Test Championship final and they play England, if I was a player, I'd rather play New Zealand because that's a bigger challenge than playing Australia. Like, for me personally, that's what I'd say. Although, what you could say is that you're playing Australia in Australia, but I think New Zealand and English conditions are probably damn good.
It's hard, yeah, I agree.
So I would prefer to play New Zealand at the moment, just because of the side. I think they're a stronger side, personally.
Yeah, good point, Fazan. And I think England are due to play New Zealand first and then India. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. It's a World Test Championship final, then England play New Zealand, and I think England play India, yeah.
So when is the World Test Championship final? I think they released
June
information
6th.
on that.
Yeah, they've released a squad, so I can share
June
it.
6th?
Yeah, I think it's June 6th. Let me just double check, because I might be wrong. Sorry, no, June 18th.
Oh,
so
June
18th to June 22nd, India versus New Zealand. So, yeah.
We'll be live streaming that, Fizan.
And actually, sorry, Austria's is, he corrected me. So, yeah, so the New Zealand matches are before. So, New Zealand play England, then they have the World Test Championship final, then England play India. So that's why I was thinking of June 6th, because I think June 6th is when New Zealand
and England.
Correct, yeah. That's New Zealand and England. Which obviously
that's going to be a class start. Normally, Fizan, you normally have, it's funny, New Zealand always come as the first tour of the summer before Australia.
Yeah.
But now, a lot better than
100%.
And Australia. So, are you going to go over?
Which is good to see, by the way. Like, I think it's good to see, isn't it? Like, I really like the Kiwis, so I want them to do well. I would say, but yeah, sorry, yeah, the squad. I'll just put the squad up. This is for, this will be for England and also the World Test Championship final. So I guess it's probably just worth having up. I'll quickly go through it, and then I guess if you want to discuss, we can. Says Kane Williamson, captain, Tom Blundell, Trent Bolt, Tim Southey, Doug Bracewell, Devon Conway, my boy, Colin de Grandum, Jacob Duffy, Matt Henry, Carl Jameson, Tom Latham, Daryl Mitchell, Henry Nichols, Ajaz Patel, Rachin Ravindra, Mitchell Santner, Ross Taylor, Neil Wagner, BJ Watling, who I think this is going to be his last series. So he's going to play against England and the World Test Championship final, and then I think he's retiring, by the way.
Quality player.
Quality. And Will Young, who scored back-to-back hundreds in the county championship, which we forgot to mention, but he scored back-to-back hundreds for Durham. In the county championship, so he's in damn good form as well. Any surprises, I guess, in there, or any one that you think should have been included that hasn't been? On the top of your head?
Not that I know of, to be honest with Zan. How about Lockie Ferguson or who's the other all-rounder?
James Neesham.
Yep.
I think maybe the reason why I haven't included them is because I don't think they've been starting the test matches, probably because they are more seen as white ball players. I think Lockie Ferguson and Jimmy Neesham. I think
who opens? Is it Seifert? Where's he?
No, so Seifert opens in white ball. So in red ball, They open with Tom Latham and
Watling?
no, not Watling. It's
Blundell.
and Tom Blundell, I think. Yeah. So they open with those two. No, sorry, Martin Guptill. I'm talking. No, Martin Guptill. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Martin Guptill is not a opening player, but yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. So it's I've completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Tom Latham.
Okay.
Henry Nichols doesn't open. He bats 5. So I'm trying to think. Why can't I remember who opens the batting for New Zealand? Blundell. It is Blundell. Yeah. Okay. So Blundell is. What am I talking about? Yeah. I was getting confused because Blundell's also a wicketkeeper, but so is BJ Watling. So they've got 3 wicketkeepers because they've got Blundell, Tom Latham, who's a wicketkeeper as well, and they've got BJ Watling. So that's 3 wicketkeepers. But anyway, so yes, they open with Blundell and Tom Latham, and then at 3, they'll have Williamson, 4 Ross Taylor, and then 5 Henry Nichols. So they've got a pretty solid side. I wonder whether someone like Conway can get in there. Probably not, but yeah. So they wouldn't. Guptill is a white ball player. Seifert's a white ball player. They don't make the red ball side. But for New Zealand, I mean, they're super solid. I mean, Tom Blundell is a damn good pick. Oh, sorry, well, I've done that by accident.
And Taylor isn't fit for the series, if I'm not wrong. That's from Ashdod, which is I think probably his last series in England, which would be a shame.
I don't know about that actually, Ross Taylor. I thought he was because given the lucky, he's pretty. He suffers. Oh, hold on. Well, this is in May though. So this is 12 days ago. He's got an average of 46, by the way.
Yeah, quality. And Bolt also is not playing in the England series as well. Oh.
No. So it says here the Black Caps veteran has suffered a grade 1 strain in his left calf, but still looks set to take part in New Zealand's tour of England. So he'll probably recover by then, apparently.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Or maybe he just gets injections. I don't know. But it looks like he's playing.
But is he in? He's not in the squad, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Where?
Who are you talking about? Ross Taylor.
Ross Taylor, is he there?
Yeah, he's the bottom line.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. And Bolt's not there, which is a shame.
He is there.
Ashad, what are you on about?
Let me just double check that.
Clearly on something.
So Ross Taylor did get injured, but the ICC site is saying he should be. Sorry. So Trent Bolt. I don't have any news about Trent Bolt getting injured, so I don't know.
Oh, fair enough.
Might know more than me, so I've no idea. Maybe I should have some inside information, but from what I know, he will be playing.
Okay,
but
fair.
Let's see.
So that's the future series we're looking forward to. But one piece of news that really caught my eye this week was Cameron Bancroft, who's currently playing, I believe, for which team in the county championship? Is it Durham?
Yeah, he captained Durham. Yeah.
Okay,
he's not playing at the moment for Durham, but he used to captain Durham.
But I'm pretty sure he's playing in the county championship somewhere. But I'm not sure what team. But aside from that, he came out to say that he was pretty sure that the bowlers and other players in that Australian team knew about the ball tampering tactics deployed by the Australia, especially the senior management in terms of Warner and Stephen Smith. What do you think about those comments? Because when this first came out, me and you said to each other, we're pretty certain the whole team would have known about it, and Bancroft was the fall guy because he was caught on camera, and obviously the vice captain and captain had to take the blame because they were managing the team. So yeah. I wasn't surprised that he said this, but my only surprise is why is it taken so long for him to make those views?
I mean, I guess maybe there's pressure at the start not to say anything, and I think someone's obviously done an interview with him or something, and he just kind of let it slip a little bit, or maybe he just assumed that people already knew, which, to be fair, I would have known, but I think, yeah.
Really?
Well, yeah, I would have thought Look, I mean, if you're doing that, and it sounds like it's from the captain and vice captain, then surely the bowlers knew about it. I mean, I would be so surprised if they didn't. Darren Lehman, I bet he knew about it as well. Like, look, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I could just be an isolated example, but I would be very surprised if the bowlers didn't know, because like when they even feel the ball, if they've used sandpaper on the ball, you'd be able to feel the difference. So even if they're not complicit to it, they'll probably know that something's happened to the ball. Like they must be thinking, "How's that happened?" And they're probably asking the guys after, and they're talking. I don't know. Like that's what I would assume has happened. Like if I was playing a cricket match and the ball's getting passed around, and I can see like, oh, that feels a bit different. Like it feels quite coarse. I'd be thinking, why does that happen? I wouldn't be like, oh, okay, they just rubbed that really well. Like, like there's no way someone can rub it. Like you use sandpaper on it. So yeah, it's crazy though. Sandpaper Gate 2.0, which is so apparently the Cricket Australia have said that they're open to like accepting more information on it, but I do agree with you. It's a bit weird that for some reason it's only just come out now. Like, why would it just come out now?
Maybe.
As in why is he felt now is the right point to do it? Because a lot of people like myself will be thinking, why bother even looking into it again? Like it's already happened like years ago.
Maybe here's a point. Maybe Bancroft would feel that he can't make it back into the Australia setup.
That's a really good point, actually. That's actually a very, very good point, because maybe straight after he thought, I think he did get. I think he played a couple of games after, like only one or two. He hasn't. So at the moment, he's not playing in county championship. But he was playing domestic cricket. I just checked for Western Australia. So I think to be honest with you, I agree with you 100%. I think it probably is because he's thought, well, I'm not going to get into the Australia side, so I've got maybe I wanted to say it before, but now I can't get into the Australia side, and I'm not going to. Then what have I got to lose? I may as well just say the truth.
Yeah, the bridge has been burned.
Well, I don't think it's even the bridge has been burnt. I think he's more just like, I can't get into the side, so why do I need to protect people? Yeah, we've got some comments as well, I think.
So Ash Shadows comment referring to Bolt, not injured. He's gone back to New Zealand, so he won't be involved in the England series, but will be able to play in the World Test Championship final. That's good news.
Good quarantine, yeah. Right now.
Referring to the Bancroft incident and Sandpaper Gate, everyone of the bowlers would know. I think, yeah, I get your point, Fizan Ashad. I think as a bowler, when you feel the cricket ball, that's your, that's your daily job. Yeah, you would have known. And
it's like if I got like a bottle lid and I scuffed up the ball and then I passed it to you, and I was like, "Venu, go and bowl this in the nets." Like, and I didn't tell you what I'd done. You'd probably look at it and be like, "What's that? What's happened to the ball?" Like if I took your net ball, right, and I scuffed it up, and then for example, say I don't know, you go into the bathroom, and once you go into the bathroom, I just scuff up your net ball and I just give it to you when you come back. You would definitely look at it and be like, "What's happened?"
I'd be fuming. If I was Mitchell Stark or Pat Cummins, I would have been fuming.
Why would you be fuming?
Because you're bringing the team into disrepute.
You're bringing the sport into disrepute. Yeah,
and the team.
Okay, but
obviously, obviously you don't have a choice and confront the management because you're going to make it worse. So you've got to keep it quiet. So I can see why Mitchell Stark and Pat Cummins haven't said nothing, because why would they?
But they could just tell the boys, like, what are you doing? If we get caught with food, stop it after game one. But obviously it was probably going on for a few. It definitely was going on before that anyway, for a few matches.
And the thing is bizarre. I think we already discussed this when this happened a few years back. Like, they got caught, and there's nothing saying that was the first time they tried it, because they couldn't try it before.
I want to be honest with you. Like, everyone does it. They were just stupid enough to get caught. It's really controversial, but
you think everyone does it?
Well, I think, look, nowadays it's a bit different. Like, I think obviously you've got cameras from everywhere, and you might, you've all eyes are on you, so sometimes it's a bit difficult. But I think, like, I don't know, like if we look back 20 years, everyone was doing it. Everyone was doing it. Like, it was just it was just accepted that, people are going to try and get advantages. So like I think you talk about anything. Even I think Alex Stewart said like Wasim Akram and Wakar Yunis, like he was like, oh, the ball looked a bit like it'd been they'd done something on the ball, but he's like, to be honest, everyone used to do it back then. He's like, it was just who could do it better, and he was like, the thing is that they could actually use the skill after like the ball had been roughed up a little bit, whereas now it's different with the cameras. But I would say every team has tried it in the last, I'd say, probably 5-6 years. It's just not as extreme now. Whereas they went to the one extreme and they tried to use sandpaper, which is crazy, in their pocket, and they got caught. So that's why there's such a big thing about it. And they weren't clever about it. They were really sloppy with how they did it.
Yeah, it's 30 years, I would say. But yes, agreed, Fazan. And yeah, I think they used sweets as well, and they had where they were trying the fielding in the outfield. They would try and throw it on a bounce before the wicketkeeper, try to roughen up the ball on one side.
But to be fair, that everyone does that. Like even I'd say everyone does that. That's a well-known thing for years and years. I don't have a problem with that. Like that's just your throw. Like you're taught anyway as a fielder to throw it in on the bounce. So even in club cricket, it happens. Like as in like throwing in on the bounce. That's pretty normal, to be honest. If it's like, oh, you get your spikes and you're like stepping on the ball and stuff, then like fine, that's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean stuff like that happens.
Sweets.
Yeah, the sweets is interesting. I guess chewing gum as well. Like, do people do that? Do they chew on the chewing gum and then? I don't know how that would help, to be honest with you, but I'm sure people get creative.
It's a bit of a dark art, isn't it, in cricket games?
Yeah. It's like in any sport, there's a bit of dark arts. Like in football, there's a bit less now because of VAR. But like before, you'd have like the pulling shirt, a little niggle, like trip them over, and
diving,
running, diving. Like it's all the dark arts, and it's just like that's part of the game. But yeah, it's all really interesting. But yeah, I think obviously it's just really interesting because is he going to come out and say, like he very not cryptically, but he very vaguely was like, yeah, of course, like, but is he going to come out and say, you know what, Mitchell Stark knew, Josh Hazelwood knew, Pat Cummins knew.
I'll watch that.
Mate, he should do an interview with Oprah or someone.
A bit like Lance Armstrong, because
were you silent or were you silenced?
So I've watched the Lance documentary. I recommend people to watch it on iPlayer right now. It's fascinating about how he was doping. And
I've watched the interview. He's like a broken man though. Like it's crazy. He has his own YouTube channel now, like podcast.
Really?
Yeah, where he interviews people. Yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, like everyone. But I think he still lives off the, everyone doped, so it's fine. It's just I got caught, kind of thing. Which everyone probably did dope, but you got caught, so sols, mate. What do you want to say? It's like saying, oh, I murdered 6 people, and I know 7 other murderers, but I got caught, so that's okay. But like everyone else was murdering, so I can murder, right? It's like, no, what you're doing is wrong. You got caught doesn't mean that what you're doing was right just because everyone else is doing it. Like you're wrong, right? So you got caught, soz, mate. Into prison you go. Do you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things. Like you.
And I think there was probably a culture in cricket about ball tampering, and I think all teams. You're right, Fizan, and I do think all teams have done it, and
yeah, of course.
Yeah, and just like Lance Armstrong, they got caught, and Australia got caught, and I must say a fantastic piece of camera work there as well. It was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, Scooby's got we've got Scooby. Thanks for joining.
Scooby deferral. I think all teams use as much advantage as possible, but the way Aussies did it was too obvious, and it shows how dumb they were. Lol. Also, hi guys, you're right, mate. I haven't heard you. I haven't seen you.
In a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Scooby deferral. So nice to meet you, mate.
Nobody likes your name.
I do like his name. What a name. I wouldn't call him dumb, but I think they underestimated the TV technology. They underestimated the cameraman. That was fantastic camera work.
I think they were dumb. To be honest with you.
They got absolutely done, and this is like when he it's like when he catch someone red-handed and it's like, oh, it's fantastic.
Do it in your
And-
pocket. Like, just do it in your pocket. Just like
Not down
oh,
your trousers.
yeah.
He put the sandpaper in his pants, didn't he?
Oh no, that's crazy.
I mean, he went to the umpires and showed him. Oh no, this is actually what's in my pocket. It's like a glass cloth or something. Oh, fantastic. Anyway, so that's that. It'll be interesting to see how this story unfolds over the coming weeks or months. On this day, England won the 2010 World Cup, T20 World Cup, but that's where Kevin Peterson really smashed it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
That was a great win for
England.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. I feel like you lost your train of thought. Yes, it was a fantastic win for England, and yeah, I mean, it was really impressive. I mean, there's no doubt about that. They were, in 2010, it's the only T20 World Cup to date, and Kevin Peterson, I mean, almost single-handedly got them the victory, if I'm being honest with you. I'll share my screen quickly as well. I actually have if I can zoom in there, I'll probably have to zoom into this. So Kevin Peterson, mate, your favourite, Mahela Jayawardene was a top scorer in that tournament with 302 runs.
Still didn't win it.
I know, but still quality player I'm talking about. Strike rate of 160, an average of 60 as well. Kevin Peterson. So this shows as well, actually, and I'm interested to know what you think. So Kevin Peterson obviously was the standout. I think he definitely got man of the tournament. 248 runs, a strike rate of 138, an average of 62. And then he had Solomon Butt, who obviously less said about him the better, but 223 runs, strike rate of 131, average of 45. So obviously, look, a couple of those players have got averages below 140, right? Strike rates below 140. Nowadays, you're looking at players to have strike rates above 140, right? So it shows how T20 cricket has evolved in the past 11 years. That really Jayawardene was almost ahead of his time, because strike rate of 160 is pretty much, that's kind of like your average we're looking at. So Jayawardene shows how quality he was, and Kevin Peterson, who's seen as a trailblazer, which he definitely was. But strike rate of 138 is slightly, I think at the time was incredible, but nowadays it's probably a little bit lower than what you're looking for in someone like Kevin Peterson who's going forward. But yeah, incredible performance from England, and Kevin Peterson was unbelievable in the tournament. He was it was inspired, really. They didn't have a particularly good team. I think they had Michael Yardy in there. No offense to Michael Yardy, but he's not an amazing player. So they had a couple of pretty average players in there, and managed to get over the line. But it was one of those things where they had a fantastic tournament and just ran away with it.
Wow, yeah, 11 years ago, I think. Yeah, that was that kind of really changed England's outlook on white ball cricket, didn't it? I think
100%.
And probably, yeah, and probably a factor into why they won the World Cup a couple of years ago. And other talking points is on. So I think that's all the talking points for the week.
I think we just need to share the India squad, because we haven't done that for the World Test Championship and the England squad. If you're okay with that,
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, go for it, mate.
We'll just quickly touch upon.
Let me guess. Virat Kohli's in the Indian squad.
Yeah, you guessed it. Yeah, so obviously Virat Kohli captain, Ajinkya Rahane, vice captain, Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Mayank Agarwal, Chahal Pujara, Vihari, Pant, Ashwin Jadeja, Axel Patel, Washington Sundar, Bumrah, Ishant Sharma, Mohammad Shami, Mohammad Siraj, Shardul Thakur, Umesh Yadav, KL Rahul, subject to fitness clearance. Saha, wicketkeeper, again subject to fitness clearance. Standby players are never heard of this guy, but Abhimanyu, Iswaran, Prasidh Krishna I have, Avesh Khan I have, and Arzan Nagawaswala. Yeah. So I guess the biggest surprise there is no Hardik Pandya. But I guess if he can't bowl fully, then maybe that's why. But I don't even know if he's getting the side at the moment, because they're quite strong. Are you surprised about that? Are you surprised about the Hardik Pandya exclusion?
Yeah, well, a bit, but they've got plenty of players in the rank, and I know India do need a batting all-rounder, a bowling all-rounder, which they don't. I guess you can like a fast bowler all-rounder, a bit like Ben Stokes.
Yeah, that's the
I
issue.
guess Ashwin counts as and Jadeja counts as all-rounders, but they're more spinning all-rounders. But Pandya was a player that they were looking at doing that Ben Stokes type role.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think I agree with you. I think in the UK that is a little bit of a miss because I think Charlotte Darker is he's pretty handy with the bat in Test cricket.
Yeah.
Bowling wise, I think he's okay, but I'm not his biggest fan. Although he did pretty well in the white ball stuff recently. But yeah, I mean, I would say for me, Hardik Pandya in English conditions, you probably need a bowling all-rounder, but they're so strong. And if they've got Mohammad Shami, Mohammad Siraj, Ishant Sharma, Bumrah, like I don't think they'll be too worried about it. But if I was England, I would create seaming and swinging wickets and just make sure the pitches are green as hell, and then just say, you know what, we're going to go with James Anderson and Broad or Archer or whoever, like Wokes even in English conditions is a nightmare, and just clean you up basically. That's what I would do if I was England. And also New Zealand. I mean, I don't know how the pitch gets prepped because it's a World Test Championship final, so I don't know. I guess it's just up to Lords maybe to do it. Well, not Lords. The GS Bowl, isn't it? Southampton. So it's Southampton to do it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah,
that's a bit more of a turning track, but I don't know how much it'll really turn considering it's still in the UK.
That's for sure.
And
Indian squad.
Yeah, and just lastly, I just have an interesting stat here, which I thought you might find interesting, Venu, which is to do with Virat Kohli and Kane Williamson going into the final, which is my last little bit of. So in head-to-head in Test matches, they've played 144 and 153 matches respectively. Runs, I mean, over 7,000, I should say, but Kane Williamson averages 54, even, and Virat Kohli 52. So both these guys have very good records against India and England. Sorry, India and New Zealand respectively. So you should expect runs from them, let's say.
Yeah, they're both quality players and both quality captains, and
yeah,
it's going to be a great final. It's just one Test match, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah, it's a one-off Test match.
What if it's a draw? They share it.
They just share it. Yeah, they're not going to have a bowl out, are they?
Yeah, super over.
Super over. Yeah, exactly.
I think that's everything for this week. I know we wanted to do a. I guess we could do the awards for the week, but there hasn't been much international cricket.
No, that hasn't really. So I don't.
No.
I think.
Give it a miss.
I think. Although, did I have a funniest moment? What was the funniest moment?
Maybe. What's his name? Dan Lawrence's shot.
Yeah, that was pretty good, wasn't it? Pretty good.
Quite funny.
Yeah. I think we've got one more comment.
Have we?
Yeah, from a Chal.
Oh yeah, Chal. Ian Marak, you too. Arzan Nagazwala is man to watch. One more Guju in the team. Yes.
Yeah, Gujarati, yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah,
nice.
More Gujaratis, I guess, the better. So that's good. Do we want to do a fielding 11, or should we say that for next week, Fizan?
I think let's say it for next week. I think I've done a little bit of research. I'm sure we can do more. So maybe let's do some extensive research, and we can that can be one that we can do. So keep an eye out for that. I'm looking forward to that. It'll be really good fun.
I'll definitely be looking forward to that as well. I think that's everything, Fizan, unless you wanted to add something.
That's all from me.
Okay, so thank you everyone for tuning in to another edition of Venu's Weekly Quick Catch Up. Thanks again, Fizan, for joining me as always, and hopefully we'll see you all next week. So bye for now. Bye.